In many Cleveland neighborhoods, it's not hard to find large tracts of land vacated by years of population decline and economic struggle. But these days, it's also easy to spot urban farm or community garden signs going up in many of these sites. OSU Extension is helping make that renewal possible.
We want to look at increasing the health disparities that exist throughout our county. So being able to help residents grow their own food and have greater access to healthy produce is very important to us. Also with that health component, it's an opportunity for us to look at all of the vacant land becoming available in the city as a way to put in agriculture as a healthy use for that land.
Currently, Extension personnel are working with more than 200 community gardens on 60-plus acres of land throughout Cuyahoga County, producing over $3 million worth of fresh produce every season.
In Cleveland and Cuyahoga County, gardening is very beneficial. There's not a lot of open space. I mean, we are definitely an urban community. We are the most urban county in the state of Ohio. So when people have the ability to access gardening or vacant parcels to do something that's recreational as well as grow food that is healthier than maybe some of the snack food they would buy at the grocery store, at the convenience mart, that's something that's beneficial.
Urban gardening has many benefits. It creates economic opportunities for gardeners who can sell the fruits of their labor at farmers markets. It also makes nutritious food available to people in parts of the city where fresh produce is hard to come by, ultimately improving health.
It's buy local, that's the term. And some people, I even read, one couple in New York City was trying to get everything within a radius of 150 miles of New York. And I think they had trouble with toilet paper because, there's not a lot of paper plants that are close to New York City. But it does indicate that with the cost of fossil fuels, of course they go up and down, but they undoubtedly will be going up in the future to get things locally instead of far away.
A good portion of fruits and vegetables grown in community gardens is donated to local food pantries and soup kitchens. As a result, hunger relief centers can better serve their clientele in these tough economic times.
Well, one thing in particular is that they really get a lot of fresh vegetables that they may not get otherwise. They get a lot of food on their tables for not just themselves, but their families and neighbors. They facilitate a 20% donation rate. So all of the produce grown in the garden, 20% of that goes to local hunger shelters and emergency food pantries. So there's a lot of food that's going into the neighborhoods.
Gardening is also being incorporated into the educational experience of local youth. St. Martin de Porres High School, for example, has started its own garden. Students learn about science and where food comes from.
One thing that we have noticed about our students is that their eating habits and the way that they think about food is not connected to where food comes from. And we also have found that just talking about it doesn't help them connect to food. And so the garden is helping make that connection.
This effort is helping improve the lives of many diverse groups in Ohio's most urban county.
Extension in Cuyahoga County has really learned to reach out to some of the more traditionally underserved populations in the county. Two of the new populations that we're working with are individuals who experience developmental disabilities. We're very proud that this summer we helped to put in a 1.1 acre farm in the middle of the city, but prior to installing that, our Master Gardener volunteers taught a vocational horticulture class to about a dozen individuals who experience a developmental disability, in a partnership with our Cuyahoga County Board of Developmental Disabilities, really looking at this as a new economic development opportunity for them. More recently, we created something we call the BEAN Project, which is called Beginning Entrepreneurs in Urban Agriculture, and we've reached out to the refugee population. Cleveland is really fortunate with all of its cultural diversity that we have a very large and strong refugee population. I should say multiple populations here in the county, many of them who come from strong agrarian roots. So we're working with those community partners to help them develop the skills and adapt to our urban lands to grow not only produce that most residents would consume, but looking at specialty crops and culturally significant produce.
Gardening is also helping create an increased sense of community and pride among neighbors.
It's really brought us together The man that lives next door to our garden, he's come over and looked at it, and I think he's keeping an eye on it for us. And we anticipate, because you can see the the school across the street is being rebuilt. It's a new school. And we anticipate that we're going to be getting the children of the school involved, therefore children and then the parents, because we want this to be a community garden.
Ultimately, OSU Extension's goal is to reimagine Cleveland from a Rust Belt city into a national model of urban agriculture and green economic development.